This is Kelly Hill, technology reporter for RCR Wireless News. I'm here today with Dharmesh Tyagi of Nokia, who heads up their
Regional Business Center.
Regional Business Center, thank you for reminding me, in North and South America.
Yes.
And we are here at IWCE 2016. Tell us a little bit about what you folks are talking about at the show this week and some of the things you have on offer for public safety.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kelly, for having us. First of all, I just wanted to tell you about the Nokia overall portfolio, for the public safety. So this is a fourth generation public safety network that we have developed very recently. So as you can see, we started in 2013, and we had like a full trailer-based kind of network, wireless network, we used to call it COW, cellular on wheel.
Yes.
And from there, we reduced the size to a man-portable system. So as you can see in this slide particularly, this is our Humvee-based or regular macro network, where you can have the entire radio and a core network within the same box. With that, we can support as many number of users as a macro capacity, from AT&T or Verizon, any commercial users. So it's a commercial grade network with a huge capacity. We can have 2,500 simultaneous users attached with the same network. We can have 1 million subscriber capacity with that. But besides the capacity, what we have done actually, we added a lot of things for the public safety, like security, end-to-end security. And when I'll take you a tour of my podium here, I'll show you exactly what security we're talking about. Then we also add about local control. So we add a concept called mobile edge computing. So mobile edge computing is like, in the eNode B itself, in the base station, you have a slot for a virtual machine. And in that virtual machine, you can put a lot of application along with the core network. So you don't have to really go back to the command and control center or a centralized network through a backhaul network, in order to access the application or servers. Your applications are right at the edge of the users. So that's the biggest advantage of that network. Now, what we have done, this was the first and second generation when we started in 2013. Today's generation is a man-portable network. So we ported this entire network into a backpack network, small cell. So as you can see from this picture on the left-hand side, this is a small cell which can be held in a hand. It's like a very small miniature product. And we put the entire core network in it, just for the public safety. Now, when talking about, what we added a lot of different features for public safety. For example, as we all know, if FirstNet is going to deploy this network, they're not going to deploy it on a standalone mode. Initially, they're probably going to have some commercial, carrier-grade network. So we developed a lot of features for network sharing. So when we talk about network sharing, for example, when your network is occupied with the public safety users, you have to have a priority and preemptions for those users. So in the normal operations, when you have only 20% commercial users and 80% public safety users, public safety users will always get a highest priority for their bearers. But in case of emergency, and if some disasters happen and a lot of commercial users start, clogging the network, the system will automatically take the measure, and it has a different thresholds on it. So, for example, we set first threshold at a certain point where you have a sudden, increase in the signaling into the network. So it automatically, wait for the second threshold, and it automatically shuts the first PLMN. So the commercial users will not have the access to the public safety users, public safety network. So that's the biggest features. Then we added, how to monetize this spectrum. That's the biggest key factor for the
huge question.
Exactly. So for those, we have developed multiple different features. How the entire capacity as a liquid RAN, can be offloaded or can be utilized by commercial user when public safety users are not there. So you can define different priority levels for the commercial users as well. But as I said, the highest priority is always the public safety users. So those are about the priority preemptions and that. Then we have another major milestone on the local control. So using the, public safety always requires local control because we're going to deploy this network in the local jurisdictions, counties, state level, and they always needs to have a certain local control, in terms of user provisioning, in terms of, local application, local database access and all that. So using the mobile edge computing, we have that, capabilities of, offloading the traffic to the local control, also to the network monitoring system. So we develop those features for the public safety specifically. Now let's talk about what else do we have. So I talked about the security, I talked about the local control, I talked about this. Now we have end-to-end services. So we developed multiple different services ports like deployment, ease of deployment through the VNF, virtual network function. As you know, we are moving towards the virtual network, virtualization of the telco core. What we are doing is, we added the SDN function with that, software network, software-defined hybrid network, which is like a networking part of it. So in the future, if you are deploying a very small network, you probably don't need the SDN. You just buy a firewall router and you connect your network. But if you're deploying a very large network, agility is a key factor, and how you can automate everything, how you can interconnect all the network components by itself. So we developed the SDN, and I have the last booth on that, so I can show you exactly how SDN, Nokia's SDN works. So having said that, we can probably go towards that side, and then security.
All right, we'll be back in just a minute.